In the vibrant village of Umupo, the market square was always very interesting. Women hawked their goods with so much joy. Men negotiated better deals with smiles on their faces, and children played around with dusting feet. At the center of it all was Iramo, the most beloved trader in the village. Her shop wasn't the biggest in the market, but it was always bustling with customers. She was a woman, so jovial and kind to everyone. As usual, Iramo's laughter rang out that morning. She was chatting with Mama Ilogo, a woman with a voice loud enough to silence a goat. "Iramo, how do you do it?" Mama Ilogo asked, wiping sweat from her brow. "Even off-market days when I sell nothing but air, your shop is overflowing with customers." Iramo grinned, showing her perfect white teeth. "Mama Ilogo, it is simple. Treat people kindly, give them fair prices, and the gods will do the rest. Remember, your customers will always come back to you if you give them reasons to do so." Abere, the trader whose shop was directly opposite Iramo's, sneered at their conversation. Her shop, though twice the size of Iramo's, was almost always empty. Customers avoided her like mosquitoes during the dry season. She hated how Iramo's success shone like the morning sun, making her failures look worse. "Liar," Abere said with so much jealousy while staring at Iramo. One evening, as the sun was setting, a stranger got to the market square. His face was partly hidden beneath a wide-brimmed hat, and he walked with the grace of someone who had traveled far but lost nothing of his pride. As soon as he got to the market, he started looking around like a hawk searching for prey until his eyes landed on Iramo's shop. Iramo, as usual, was singing a song with so much excitement while packing her goods. The moment she looked up and saw the man, she stopped singing. "Good evening, stranger. How may I help you?" she asked with a warm smile. The man nodded and then said, "Good evening. They call me Obanere. I am from the village of Odakun. I need your help. I seek healing for a wound that cannot be seen." Iramo's expression changed slightly. It appeared she was interested to know more about the stranger's request. "Sit down, Obanere. Tell me more," she said, while pointing at a stool. He sat quietly, while Iramo was watching him closely. "I was once a rich, blessed, and powerful merchant," he said, with his voice heavy with emotion. "But I wronged a poor widow who begged for food. I chased her away, and that same night, I began to lose everything. My wealth, my family, my peace are all gone. I've wandered for years, searching for someone who could help me find forgiveness from the gods." The market women who heard what he said whispered among themselves. They were also interested in the stranger's story. "And why did you come here?" Iramo asked softly. Obanere looked into her eyes and replied in a very gentle tone. "They said your heart is pure and that your kindness opened doors. I also heard the gods are with you." Iramo smiled. "I'm not a priestess," said Iramo, "but I do know this. If your heart truly seeks forgiveness, it begins with giving and not taking." The stranger appeared to be speechless. He stared at Iramo, and then she continued. "First thing in the morning, on the next market day, you must go to the widow you wronged, bow your head before her feet, and ask for her forgiveness. Forgiveness cannot be found anywhere but in humility." "Thank you, Iramo," said Obanere. "Remember, you must do this first thing in the morning," cautioned Iramo. Indeed, Obanere did as Iramo said, and his wealth returned in full. He became wealthy again, and never again did he turn his back against a beggar. The news of Ebenezer's reduction spread across the neighboring villages, with Iramo at the center of the story. The people were pleased with her. Villagers celebrated Iramo in a grand style. They celebrated her in different ways that were beyond her imagination. In spite of this, Abere's jealousy grew. She never saw anything good in what Iramo did. One evening, as Iramo was packing up her goods, a child came and knocked over her basket of fruit. Iramo laughed. She cleaned him up and said to him, "Son, you need to always be careful. Watch where you are going, or you'll get hurt." The child grinned and then walked away. Another day, a rude noblewoman accused Iramo of cheating. Rather than defending herself, she apologized calmly with a cheerful smile, and even offered the noblewoman an impressive discount, even when she was accused wrongly. That same evening, Iramo saw an old man walking under the rain. She quickly ran out of her shop and offered the man her umbrella. "Take this, Papa," she said while handing over the umbrella to the old man. "You don't need to walk under the rain." The man took the umbrella and said, his voice so weak, "Thank you, my daughter. It shall be well with you." And so, Iramo continued her kind gesture until the day a strange woman arrived at the market. Her clothes shimmered like the river under moonlight, and every step she took made the beats on her waist jingle like a distant drum beat. "I'm not here to buy," the woman said to Iramo. "I'm here to let you know that the gods are pleased with you." Iramo blinked her eyes. "Really?" she asked. "Yes," said the woman. "Your act of kindness and love are never unnoticed. The gods can see it all." Whispers swept through the market that day. The traders were impressed and proud of Iramo, but Abire remained jealous. Just when Abire was trying to cope with her jealousy, a royal messenger arrived in Umukpo. His horse was coated in gold dust, and his trumpet blast pierced the skies like thunder. Before the crowd that day, the messenger cried out in a loud voice, "Iramo, daughter of Umukpo, by the command of His Royal Majesty, the King of Odaku, you are hereby summoned to the palace for a very crucial assignment." The villagers were amazed. "Iramo, the palace, a crucial assignment?" They whispered among themselves. The whispering continued around the market till Iramo stepped forward. "I'm ready," she said, though her heart pounded like a talking drum. "If the assignment is really important to humanity, then I'll do it." That evening, Iramo was taken to a majestic palace. Inside the king's chambers, torches flickered against ivory pillars, and the sweet scent of royalty filled the air. The king, seated on a leopard skin throne, spoke with his voice like flowing honey. "Iramo, we have heard of your compassion and wisdom. I need your help, but you must tell no one what I ask of you tonight." Iramo bowed and then said, "Your Majesty, I'm listening." The king leaned forward. He looked so worried. "My only daughter, Princess Esinwa," said the king, "had fallen terribly ill. The royal physicians say she is cursed, and no help could heal her. By last night, an old seer from the mountains arrived at the palace gates. He said, 'Only a woman with a clean spirit and a heart of gold can break the curse, not just with medicine, but with presence.'" Iramo's eyes widened. "Me?" "Yes," said the king. "If you accept, you must stay with the princess in the sacred chamber for 7 days. If you wake healed, you will be rewarded beyond your imagination. Iramo took a deep breath. I do not chase rewards, my king, but I will do it, not for the palace, not for the reward, but for the child. And so the secret vigil began. Each day, Iramo stayed by the princess' side. She sang the best folk song anyone could ever sing. She told very interesting village tales. She rubbed the feet of the princess with herbs and whispered words of comfort as though the child could hear, but she could not hear. On the sixth night, a mysterious figure tried to enter the chamber, but Iramo stood at the door and called upon the gods with fiery prayers that shook the walls. That night, Iramo succeeded in preventing the mysterious figure from entering the chamber. On the seventh morning, the palace shook with cries, not of sorrows, but of joy. The princess had opened her eyes. Who are you? The child asked with a smile. I'm just a woman from Umupo, Iramo replied with a tearful smile. That day, the king wept for joy, and the entire village celebrated Iramo. One evening, weeks after Iramo's return from the palace, she took a quiet stroll to the edge of the river. It was her favorite spot each time she needed to be alone. There, the fireflies danced over the water like living stars, and the trees whispered ancient secrets. As she approached the river, she heard an unusual sound behind her. She turned around sharply, and that was when she saw a man standing behind a huge tree. His face was partly hidden, but his presence carried an air of both danger and destiny. Who are you? Iramo asked, her voice very steady. The man remained there with his eyes glittering like a polished stone. I have come to warn you, he said, with a voice that trembled the least. Iramo's brow furrowed. Warn me? You need to be very careful. Someone is jealous of you, and she vowed to do anything to bring you down, said the man. Before she could speak again, the man had disappeared into the woods like mist in the morning. Iramo stood there frozen, her heart pounding. She whispered to herself, Whatever comes my way, let the gods be with me. Days later, as Iramo sang the cheerful song while attending to her customer, Abire approached her with an exaggerated smile. Iramo, my dearest friend, Abire exclaimed, her hands clapping like a 40 drum. You work too hard. Let me help you lock up tonight. You deserve some rest. Iramo was shocked. Abire had never been this friendly. That's kind of you, Abire, but I can manage. I'm used to it. No, you really deserve to rest, Abire interrupted, waving her hand. What are friends for? Go home early. Don't worry, I'll take good care of everything. At first, Iramo hesitated, but after a while, she finally agreed. She thanked Abire for her generosity, but little did she know Abire had other plans. That night, under the cover of darkness, Abire crept into Iramo's shop with a small black pot filled with foul-smelling herbs. She placed it beneath the counter, muttering curses as she sprinkled powder on the floor. Let her wares rot, her customers vanish, and her smiles turn to tears, she whispered, her eyes gleaming with hatred. Abire left the shop, certain that by morning Iramo's thriving business would be reduced to dust. The next day, Abire arrived at the market early, expecting to see chaos at Iramo's shop, but to her greatest surprise, Iramo's shop was packed with more customers than ever before. The line stretched so long it curved around the mango tree. What kind of witchcraft is this? Abire hissed, her mouth hanging over like a broken gate. Abire was determined to continue with her evil plans, and so she consulted an evil priest in another village. As she approached the shrine that evening, she could perceive the smell of burning herbs and old wood. A single oil lamp flickered on a carved wooden stool. The air was thick with misery, and sitting at the middle of the shrine was Ledudu, the most feared evil priest in that region. His eyes were closed, his face painted with white chalk, and before him lay the black calabash covered with strange symbols. The priest opened his eyes slowly and then asked with a deep and commanding tone, "What do you seek, my daughter?" Abure expected this question, and so she had already prepared an answer for it. "I want to lay the name Iramo to go blind instantly," she whispered. A slow, airy smile sprang across the face of the evil priest. He picked up a bundle of dried leaves and tossed them into the fire. The flame roared, casting an orange glow over the wrinkled face of the chief priest. "Blindness?" asked the chief priest. "What has she done to you?" Abire's jaw tightened. "She took my customers from me," she replied. "All the customers are so fond of her, and I want her to suffer. She must go blind." "Jealousy, jealousy," repeated the evil priest. "I'm not jealous. I only want my customers back," whispered Abire. "Jealousy is a very powerful thing, my child," interrupted the priest. "But you have come to the right place. You will get exactly what you desire if you abide by the rules." He took a little calabash, poured some black liquid into it before he did some incantations. Abire watched, fascinated and terrified. "This charm will do as you wish," said the evil priest. "But you must be careful, for no one must see you while you pour it in a shop. If anyone does, the charm will lose its power." Abire nodded quietly. "Okay, I understand." He handed over the calabash and said to her, "Go, and may the gods guide your path." Abire took the charm, her heart racing as she stepped out of the dark shrine. The night air hit her face. A wicked smile curled on her lips. "By tomorrow, Iramo will go blind," she whispered to herself, with a kind of relief she has not felt in years. Abire stepped into action that night. The night was silent. The wind rustled through the trees, and the distant hoot of the owls echoed through the air. The market square stood empty, its thatched shop casting long shadows under the moonlight. Abire moved swiftly, clutching the calabash tightly. "No one must see me," she whispered to herself. She got to Iramo's shop and took a deep breath. Her hands trembled as she uncorked the calabash. The thick black liquid shimmered under the moon, its bitter scent filling her face. Slowly, she bent the calabash, letting the liquid drip onto the ground. It made a soft hissing sound as it sank into the soil. She completed the assignment and left with so much joy in her heart. The next morning, a wide smile sprang up from Abire's face as she was approaching Iramo's shop. She saw a lot of people standing there, and she felt they were there to sympathize with the blind woman. But she was wrong. They were actually there to patronize her. She observed carefully from a distance, and that was when she discovered that Iramo wasn't blind. She can see. Suddenly, a madman touched her from behind and said with a smile, "I saw you last night. Yes, I saw you with the calabash." "Get out of here!" Abire screamed with hatred and anger. "Don't come close to my house at night again. If you do, I will deal with you," the madman said, and then walked away while smiling. Abire's face turned as red as a ripe pepper. She clenched her fist and stormed over to her shop. The madman saw her the previous night, and that was why the charm lost its power completely. Unable to accept defeat, Abire decided to spread a rumor about Iramo. By midday, the rumor had gone around the entire market. "Have you heard? Iramo uses charm to attract customers, she told anyone who would listen. That's why her shop is always filled with customers. The rumor reached the ears of the elders, who summoned Iramo to defend herself. The entire market gathered to witness it. Iramo, the eldest elder began, stroking his long white beard. We heard troubling accusations against you. Do you use charms in your business? Iramo stepped forward, calm and unshaken. Elders, I have nothing to hide. I am only a woman who prays to the gods and treats people fairly. I have never used charm in my business. Let the gods judge me. The elders decided to consult the village priest, who performed a sacred ritual to reveal the truth. After a tense silence, the priest declared, the gods are pleased with Iramo. She is kind and hardworking. The accusations against her are false. Gasps and murmurs erupted from the crowd. The priest continued, his tone stern. However, someone used dark power to charm Iramo, but it all failed. The gods have revealed the culprit. Her name is Abire. All eyes turned to Abire, whose knees wobbled like newborn goats. Abire, the elders roared, you will pay for your jealousy and wickedness. As punishment, Abire was banished from the village, all because of her evil deeds. Meanwhile, Iramo's business flourished even more. Customers came not only for her goods, but also to hear her story, a tale of kindness, triumphing over evil. Just before Abire left the village, she approached Iramo with tears streaming down her face. Iramo, I was wrong, she said in regret. I foolishly allowed jealousy to poison my heart. Please forgive me. I planned to hurt you in so many ways, but they all failed because the gods are with you. Iramo, ever compassionate, forgave her. Abire, I forgive you, but always remember that envy is like a thorn bush. The more you cling to it, the more it hurts. Let this be a lesson to us all, said Iramo. The story of Iramo was shared from generation to generation. It's a story which taught everyone that goodness always shines brighter than envy, and that it doesn't matter how hard the enemies try to harm someone. If the gods are with them, every evil plan will surely fail. For more interesting stories, kindly subscribe to this channel. Please share, like, and comment on our videos.